Hey, long time no see. Welcome back to another regularly scheduled movie review. uh, if there's one thing that could bring me back from this brief hiatus I've been on, you know it had to be the sequel to one of my favorite movies of all time. You probably already know exactly what I'm talking about, and that is, of course, Chicken Run 2, baby! We're going to be watching the trailer and going through all the theories and Easter eggs for all my fellow Chicken Run heads out there. Nah, but seriously, it's time to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I'm planning on getting back into regularly scheduled uploads, so please hit the like and subscribe so you can see the rest of my reviews coming soon. Alright, so anyway, Across the Spider-Verse. Going forward, there's going to be a ton of spoilers, so please, if you have not watched the movie, go see it. Come back to this video later. It's not going anywhere. Trust me, this movie is so good. It is unlike anything I've ever seen before, and it's something that deserves to be seen in theaters on the largest screen available. First, I want to talk about the animation. Obviously, it was torture to wait 5 years for this movie to come out since the first one, but boy, was it worth it. Genuinely, the most impressive animation I've ever seen in film. It's clear how much time and care was put into every single frame of this movie. Into the Spider-Verse paved the way for this new hyper-stylized animation renaissance that we're in right now with stuff like Puss in Boots and the new Ninja Turtles movie. But Across the Spider-Verse takes everything they did in the first one and amps it up to 11. I was particularly impressed with the way the different animation styles for each character melded together, like with Spider-Punk and the Renaissance of Vulture. They also made each world so distinct, with Gwen's world being soaked in color that shifts with the emotion of the characters, and then the bright blues and yellows of Mumbattan. There's even a scene from a LEGO universe animated by a 14-year-old who redid the Spider-Verse trailer in LEGO a few months ago. Lord and Miller already have a great track record for making some of the most visually distinct and groundbreaking animated films, but if this doesn't prove their dedication to the medium, then I don't know what does. It's hard to even explain why the animation is so good because it's not anything that's ever been done before. But every single splash of color, every vibrant transition, and every single minute detail are breathtaking, purposeful, and serve the story at large. It's a little hard for me to comment on the story, seeing as this is only the first of 2 parts, but based on just this part alone, I'm really loving the direction they're taking this. The progression for Miles' character feels very natural, and they did an amazing job nailing where he's at in his own world, and how he fits into this larger world of a gazillion spider people. I'm excited to see how they end up paying off the interactions Miles had with his parents in the beginning, and also how his relationships with his spider friends change after what they did to him. My one very small gripe with the main premise of the story is I found it very hard to believe that all these versions of Spider-Man would go along with Miguel's plan to catch Miles. Spider-Man has always been the one to fight for the little guy and stand up for what he believes in, so it's very telling that Miles embodies Spider-Man the most out of anyone, because he will try and save everyone even if it seems impossible. I mean, that's like what this whole movie is about. He's trying to balance both things. He's trying to have it all. Because that's what Spider-Man does, and that's what makes him a great character. But even this small nitpick is very easy to look past because it ultimately serves Miles' character very well and lets him come into his own. Miles ending up in the wrong universe is one of the biggest cliffhangers I've ever seen, and also such a surprising twist. Seeing that to be continued at the end of the movie was one of the most frustrating, but also the most satisfying things I've ever seen. Like, obviously I want to see the rest, but I know fully well we're in for another awesome movie in like less than a year, hopefully. It's crazy to see how many connections were there in the first film to everything we see revealed here. Like Miles having the green and purple surrounding him, but then it changes to red and blue after his fate changes. It's little details like that which make these movies so special. There's obviously a ton of small Easter eggs all over the place, which are really fun when they don't overstay their welcome. Some of the live-action integration felt a little forced to me, but that's not nearly enough to bring this movie down at all for me. And Across the Spider-Verse is so damn funny. Every joke landed for me, and the somewhat comedic, lighthearted first half, contrasted with the seriously intense second half, was perfect. That entire first fight scene between Miles and Spot is so well done and feels like the perfect little appetizer for everything that comes after. While it's still possible that they could completely let us down with the next part, with what they've done so far though, I have no doubt it's going to blow us away more than this one already has, which doesn't even seem possible. I absolutely love the characters in this movie, especially all the new ones. Spider-Punk is easily my favorite character in the series so far. Not only is he the coolest designed character so far with the most unique stylized flair, but he's also the one character who looked out for Miles, which is pretty cool. Apparently Spider-Punk's animation is one of the things they spent the longest working on, and it's very obvious why. He looks so visually distinct from the rest of the cast, and it's actually because they use a different frame rate for him than all of the other characters. Miguel and a lot of the other Spider people are rendered with one pose every frame. Miles is actually with every 2 frames, but for Hobie they actually did one pose for every 3 frames, which is why he looks so different. That's just like another detail that goes to show how much care they put into these characters. I also really like Spider-Man India. Both him and Hobie I'm extremely excited to see more of in the next installment, and hopefully there'll be a lot more of them. What they did with Gwen really worked too. We get to see how similar her struggle was to Miles, but how they end up going down different paths. It's obvious that they're going to make up in the next film, especially after she rescues him, but that is one aspect I could see playing out in a lot of different ways. It was a little disappointing to see Peter B take a backseat with such a powerful presence in the first film, but hopefully we'll get to see more of him too. Then there are the 2 antagonists. First, there's Spot, who is just a load of fun. The first fight they have, like I said, is so well put together. The way they wrote him to be an awkward, inexperienced goofball who ends up having the power of the multiverse in his hands is just so damn cool. Also, the fact that his entire origin is a callback to one of the best jokes in the first film makes it even funnier. Then there's Spider-Man 2099, who feels a lot more villainous even though he's supposed to be the good guy. He's gotten to the point where he doesn't even feel like Spider-Man anymore, with his lack of fun-loving personality, the intense brutality of his fighting style, and of course his plans to gatekeep the Spider Society. Oscar Isaac killed the voice performance and made him feel so menacing. I mean, all of the voice cast did a fantastic job though. Another thing I really loved was the music. The music in the first one was already perfect, but they somehow made it even better. The way they manipulate each of the characters' themes to echo each other is brilliant, especially the one for Prowler Miles at the end. I love it when a score is so integral to the plot that it wouldn't feel like the same movie without it. The score shouldn't just get lost in the background when it has the opportunity to completely shape our understanding of a character like it does in this film. And don't even get me started on the soundtrack. I wouldn't say this one has the most memorable earworms like Sunflower and What's Up Danger from the first, but it's still great, especially that credits song. I wish I could absorb it into my body, slather it on a piece of toast, and eat it for breakfast. It is amazing. The editing is so well done too. The animation could already stand on its own, but the added effect of using different panels to make it look exactly like a comic page brings it to a whole nother level. It's just so hard to believe that a movie like Into the Spider-Verse, which already did all of these things so well, could be followed up by something that not only expands upon everything that came before it, but seems to transcend the medium entirely. This feels like one of the biggest movies I've ever seen before because it's doing things that have never been done in animation or in film in general. And it's doing all of those to serve the story in the best way possible. It's hard for me to say whether I prefer Across the Spider-Verse to Into the Spider-Verse, because this is only the first of 2 parts and I've only seen it once as opposed to the countless times I've watched Into the Spider-Verse, but I can only see this getting better with time. If you're like me and you loved Into the Spider-Verse, you're going to love this just as much, if not more. Not only is it one of the greatest sequels of all time with an Empire Strikes Back level cliffhanger, it may very well be part of one of the greatest film trilogies of all time. But we'll have to see about that. I have nothing but love and praise for Across the Spider-Verse, and I can't wait to see it again. This is so easily a 10 out of 10 that it almost feels silly to rate it because of how groundbreaking and special it really is. I really love Spider-Man and animation, so it's really special to see a movie like this elevate the potential of an entire medium using one of my favorite stories of all time. Please, please, please go support this movie. Go see it in theaters. Go tell all your friends to see it in theaters. These are the kind of movies we have to support if we want to get more stuff like this. Let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments. If you had any favorite characters, favorite scenes, favorite songs, anything. Also, let me know if there's any other movies or TV or anything you want me to review on my channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I promise you'll be hearing from me again soon. I'm not going to fall off the face of the earth for like 8 months or whatever. But that's it for now. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.